So, we are now recording the July 6, 2018 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy after 4th.
Happy after 4th, that's right. How did it get to be July already?
I know. Penny's still shaking.
Oh, the firecrackers got to her. She doesn't like
Actually, it was better this year. She shook a lot and whined a bit, but she wasn't going crazy like she was last year. So.
We're not walking around.
Actually isn't afraid of it. And there were some things that sounded like there were cannons out in the alley.
Wow. Well,
Really?
Pennsylvania has finally allowed fireworks. They were illegal in Pennsylvania before this year.
Us too. We've 2 years, maybe the last couple of years you can do it here, but people, you either love them or hate them.
Oh, exactly. And my poor Rocky never had a problem, and this year he's been like Penny.
Yeah.
Shaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to have some neighbors. We used to call them the Yahoos. They would have a 4th of July. We used to call them Mr. and Mrs. Yahoo. They would have a party, and because they invited their low-life friends over, and they'd shoot off fireworks for about 4 hours on July 4th, and I had to spray my roof to wash the debris off my roof. And so finally, the city of Linwood made it illegal to have fireworks, which I was very happy. Unfortunately, the Yahoos moved a couple of years ago, so I haven't had to worry about it.
Fire hazarding new neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, they used to park their car right in front of their door. I mean, they'd literally drive on the lawn up to the door and park it. I mean, a bunch of lowlifes.
I had a neighbor like that in my first house.
I was so happy to see them they got kicked out of their house because they weren't making mortgage payments. So I was so happy to see them leave.
Oh my goodness.
Mine would come, my neighbors on my very first house, they would drive up my driveway and then across their lawn, park on their lawn. They had no grass, you know. And so, you know, and I'm thinking, and at first I talked to them, and like, so I tried the nice route, and then I thought, yeah, that's a lot. I'm creating an easement. I mean, I'm by allowing them to do that, you know. So I would come home from work and park at the end of my driveway. I looked out the window, and there were 2 cop cars and police standing out there, and the guys raising and then I'm like, what? And the cops came to the door, and the guy was giggling. He's like, your neighbors called the police on you for parking in your own driveway. It was the teenagers. It wasn't the parents, you know. The parents like, oh my gosh, I was so glad when they were up and out of that house. And then you know what? Their grass came in beautifully, and they started planting flowers. They had one of the best yards in the neighborhood. It's like, wow.
Yeah, not parking on your front lawn does amazing things for it after you stop doing it. The oil spots and other drippings, you know.
Right, exactly. Not to say anything about the heat coming from the car.
Yeah.
So Dennis, you have an unusual return. Surprise.
Okay, this is a return that I did not personally do. It was done in 2005.
Oh.
And
what you're still bringing it up. You're still allowed to?
Well, what the issue was is that it was done I bought part of my practice from this one woman, and she did the return back in 2005, and we both had the same tax software. So fortunately, I did have the 2005 file on my computer, which I was able to find. But the issue is when they did the return, there was a mistake made, and it's like a husband is an employee and the wife has their own business. And so when they did the Schedule C, they put the husband's social number on the Schedule C and not the wife's. And so what ends up happening is that when they start getting their Social Security statements, they don't see any income for 2005. So they went for her. So they went to Social Security, and Social Security said, well, you need to file an amended return with the IRS and tell them to change it. So it's amended return, there's no change. And then in my verbiage, I said that there was a mistake made. They need to switch the self-employment taxes to the wife's record and not the husband's record.
Ah,
And so it'll be interesting. I mean, I mailed it out today. It'll be interesting to see if it goes anywhere. But it was the biggest challenge was actually finding the 2005 file, because I don't use that software anymore. And fortunately, I had an old copy of the software on my hard drive, and so I was able to get it. But that's pretty unusual. You go back that far, because
Yes, it is.
it's probably not even on their computer system now. So I'm not sure how this is going to fly. But,
Dennis, was that part of her Schedule C, the self-employment tax?
yeah, and they had they had the husband's social number, not her number,
Oh,
and they didn't discover it until, I guess they must have been looking at their Social Security transcripts and didn't see
yeah,
there was no earnings for 2005 for her. And
right.
so then I guess they must have kept their 2005 tax return.
See, a good reason not to get married.
Well,
On your tax return. I'm kidding.
yeah,
That's a good reason to keep old computers, old software, and
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. You are
Every-
the first example that I have heard of somebody actually needing to go back that far.
well, actually, I had
and
another.
actually use the program.
There was another one where
This guy sends me a PDF of my tax return, and I've got all my PDFs of my tax returns. So then I don't need the software because I have the PDF.
Well, in this case, there was another one that I did where I was able to reduce the client's taxes by $70,000 for the 2006 return because we did an audit reconsideration. And since I had the software, I was able to drill down deep into the bowels of the return and see this really screwy mistake that there's no way I could have known about if I did not have the actual software. So that's the second time that I've actually had to go back more than 10 years to get an old return. Actually, I mean, get the actual physical file, the data file on the system. So it's unusual, but it does happen every now and then. So
Yeah.
because normally I don't save paper returns more than 7 years.
Right. No. And 2005, what kind of computer did you use back then? What was the system? And
Well, it was Microsoft. It was actually her. We had the same software, and so I got some of the data files when I bought part of her practice. I got the old data files, and at that time it was like I think I got it in 2009 or 2010. So,
but I'm talking about your computer hardware.
Yeah, what would it run?
Windows has, you've gone from Windows 7 to Windows 8.
well, it still ran. I mean,
Windows XP.
it was Pro Series, and it still ran on Windows 10.
Oh, okay. You're lucky then.
But I just had to have the actual correct software for that year, which
Wow.
I kept on the computer because, like I say, I've had that happen, occasionally.
Great.
And that software worked with your Windows 10 machine.
Yep. So it was kind of a lifesaver in both cases and normally a lot of times people, when they give people the clients their paper return, they don't give them the full file. They just give them the client copy. They don't give all the schedules. So anyway, it was
Sarah, I'm going to unmute you now. Sorry, Dennis.
Yeah, it was unusual.
Very unusual that you were able to do that. Linda, are you doing QuickBooks?
I heard a boop.
Put that check down. Put that check down.
Don't you share that check? She's flashing
Just
account numbers.
now I'm going to take a picture of it and send it to my bank.
Okay.
So, yeah, I did that. It's going to do it one more time, I think. I received the payment. This is, I'm depositing it in the bank.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't pay my bills that are due tomorrow unless I deposit it in the bank before 3 p.m.
Ah, okay. You're multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's talk scaling new heights. Since we haven't been able to talk about it for the past 2 weeks.
Such a good time. Such a good time. Well, it was only 4 hours away, so I brought all four of us. And
Nice.
The most fun for my gals was this is great marketing. what is it? Cloud Runner. Cloud Runner had a huge booth.
What is Cloud
And
Runner?
so what they did was they had a big bowl of keys and a treasure chest. So you'd reach in the bowl and you try to unlock the lock, and the line wrapped around the whole booth, and the whole time you're in line, you're watching demos, right? So,
Wow.
so it was 4 days in Hawaii for 2 people. So, yeah, 4 days, 3 nights, whatever. And so it was set up beautifully. It was the food was mixed in with the trade show floor. It was timed well with the sessions. It was just very well run. And
How was it different from previous years?
Well, this is really my first year. Last year I sort of crashed it and then paid for like 1 day because I wanted to see. We were in the hotel.
Yeah, we were in the hotel.
We were in the hotel. But yeah, I didn't take sessions except for last day. But that community was there. The all that passion and liveliness. As a matter of fact, and I scrolled from my treasure chest story, but there was another convention going on at the trade show. It's a huge place, and we were all outside, and chatting and carrying on outside in like a food court later. And this woman walked up, and she was at a convention, and I forget what kind of company she was with. And she said there was like thousands of people at the convention, and she's walking around and she can't find anybody. Like they all just went back to their room. It was weird. And she said, and you guys, we kept seeing these, the Scaling New Heights, around everybody's necks. And she said, y'all are everywhere. And then late at night, and so anyway, long story shorter, we were headed to a session, and as we walked past the booth, Marnie, like you see her online, she said, Sarah, get in line. And I'm like, we're going to a session. And she said, look at the keys. And the bowl of keys was almost out.
Wow.
So we got in line and we went up. We were on our 3rd try. And Mark texted me and said, why aren't you in the session? I'm like, they're almost out of keys. He's like, stay in line. So Karen went first. Didn't work. And when Angela walked up, it was her birthday.
Oh my goodness.
And the kids were calling her all the time. They didn't like her being out of town. She was having a bad day, right? And when she walked up, I thought, God, she needs this. And I went crazy. The whole place went crazy. So she won the trip. And that was a great birthday.
Congratulations to Angela.
And I think she should take her boss. Don't you think?
I think so. Yeah. Hey.
Boss was the one that brought her there.
Well, she has 2 kids, so that ain't gonna work. She's got all these girlfriends, so that's not gonna work. So everybody's like, "Hi, Angela."
Everybody's a new friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was fun. But the sessions, awesome.
So what is Cloud Runner?
Cloud Runner. So they're NSYNC.
They rebranded. Or they're doing 2 separate things.
It's sort of like
identity management software.
Yeah, sort of like what Judy's doing with Client Hub.
Not really.
Isn't it?
No, it's like
It's not a collaboration platform.
Oh, okay.
It's a.
But it holds your password. It's like a one-stop shop
It's identity management, but also
all of your different places.
Go, Linda.
No, that's fine. Just put it back there.
Okay.
Did you say that again?
I said it like has how you get to all of your different places, where I guess all the different apps on one screen.
It's like a hub.
Right, but the other side of it is just from a management standpoint. So you can set it up so that you can set it up so that there's certain types of accounts that it will actually provision. So if you add somebody to a company, it can go in the backside and provision that person in that service.
Got it.
Okay, and then it can also when you go and somebody leaves, or say somebody, you're concerned from a security standpoint, you could go and suspend somebody's access, and it goes and does it throughout all the different applications. Cloud applications.
Wow.
And, or you can, if you terminate somebody, you can remove them, and it removes it. Now, certain apps it will, do that. There's tighter integration with than others. So, like I said, not all of them you provision. Some of them you're actually just all you're doing is adding it as basically a password manager.
Right.
But there are others where you can go ahead and do it. But you can also set it up so that they don't even know their passwords.
Yeah, as long as
they just
have.
log into this dashboard. They have all of them. A little bit like that's a little bit like
That's what I was
LastPass.
thinking about.
So they can log into their little dashboard and click on the links, and they get it connected, but they don't necessarily know what the password is.
Right.
And then
That is secure. I mean, that means that they can't go home on their laptop then, unless their laptop is part of that cloud runner.
Yeah, but the cloud.
Well, no, it's a web.
it's a web-based. Yeah, it's a login. As long as they have the credentials to log in, then they would have all the credentials to do everything that they need to do. But for an IT person and with a lot of users and a lot of apps,
Sounds like it would work well.
Yeah.
So then an employee has a laptop, and the laptop gets stolen as long as they can log in?
Well,
They wouldn't be able to log into Cloud Runner because they wouldn't have the password.
they wouldn't have the password, and you should still have your laptop encrypted so that nobody can get into the laptop. I mean, you've got to have layers of security in any of this.
I forget whether they have
Right away.
I forget whether they have multi-factor or not, but I mean, obviously if they don't, I know they're going to add it. So
Sure. Almost everybody's multi-factor now.
So that would mean, you not only have to have the password, but you have to have the second factor somehow to be able to get into it.
Even the IRS is multi-factor now.
What is, Dennis?
IRS. They had this big change in December that took
I haven't gotten into my account since then.
Let me guess, they're using text messages? Are they?
They're sending a text message with the code. Yeah.
Which is like the most insecure method to do that.
Well, they're on kind of a limited budget with archaic computer systems.
It's better than nothing.
Right?
But because cell phones can be cloned so easily, and
so what other two-factor is there?
Well, there's the app-based one.
Like with LastPass, you go to the app to get a number that expires every 10 seconds or 20 seconds.
Right.
So that's more secure.
That's more secure.
The problem with the whole SMS message system is
hackable.
Very easily hackable. You don't even need to clone a phone or anything.
Yeah, but it took like 2 months for them to.
There's ways to do it. But obviously somebody has to know what they're doing to do that. So other than just the regular thief.
I've got that for one of my banks. I have to have that little fob.
Yeah, that's the other thing, a hardware.
And if you forget your fob at the office and want to do it at home, oh well.
There's some that actually have the actual printout on, characters on it. There's others that you plug into the device and
you plug it in. That's right. This doesn't plug in.
No, mine's just like yours. You poke it and.
YubiKey is one of the ones that you plug.
But I have to carry it with me when I go out of town if she's going to need me to sign in. I had to sign in at Accountex last year, and then I didn't have Internet Explorer. I didn't know that I had it on my Windows 10 laptop because the default one is Edge.
Yeah.
And there's another software that this bank uses.
Rapport or
Rapport.
Yeah.
And that works with Internet Explorer, but not with Edge. So
Oh, really?
it works
Well,
with.
that's confusing, yeah. So Linda, how did you like Scaling New Heights?
I loved it. I loved it. And actually, you know, I signed up for the Woodard groups.
Oh, did you?
I did, because I wanted to go to that breakfast. So I paid for the breakfast.
Yeah.
And he called me and he said, I can't find you in our list of members. I said, well, that's because I'm not a member, but can I join?
Can I come? Can I join?
So I signed up, and I just got my first invitation. And to me, it seems like for $35 a month.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
That's the one I signed up for.
Mhm.
And
Well, now that we don't have Sleater, I'm just going to try to get my money back from Accountex. But,
yeah,
yeah.
my guess is if you call them, you'll get it back. I don't think that'll be a problem.
Yeah, because the only reason I got the membership was to get the discount to Accountex.
Right, right. So, so it's interesting.
So what were your favorite sessions?
Murph.
Murph.
His stuff is absolutely amazing.
Brilliant.
The depth of
The other thing is that he really understands the RAM that you need in any computer in order to run QuickBooks 2018 desktop.
Right.
I did not
Yeah.
realize how much RAM you needed. How the computer determines how much RAM gets allocated to run your QuickBooks and your QuickBooks.
That's right. If you install QuickBooks and it allocates RAM and then you add RAM to your machine, it doesn't know it.
No,
You have to uninstall it and reinstall it to take advantage of the RAM. I never knew that.
Well, and it will allot half of the available RAM
at the time of
So don't let anything
So-
else be running in the
you
background.
You
Yeah.
want to close everything else down when you, including antivirus and all that kind of stuff. When you install, hopefully download the software.
And you would never know that if you didn't go to his class.
I know.
Right, you'd never know that. It's into it. They're not going to tell you. But so so that was very interesting. I was in that same session, and
Yes.
and they upped the RAM requirements for 2018, and I think that's why people were having some issues.
And so what are the symptoms when you don't have enough RAM?
Well, they're kind of really weird. It just acts weird. It almost acts like the data might be corrupted,
Maybe I need to.
you know, but it's not. It just, because what's happening is the computer is trying to switch out what's in the RAM. It's trying to.
Can we go someplace and look at it?
Yeah, you do the Control-1, and it should give you it should show you what the allotted RAM is.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anybody got the QuickBooks open?
I don't, but I can. I have to go do something else, so I'm opening one.
That's
Also,
just
the assigned thing.
I have one of my
I have
clients.
to go back through his slides. And take a
Yeah.
look.
I downloaded every slide I could get my hands on.
Oh, you did good, because I need to still do that.
Yeah, they said they'll be up for about 6 months, but
But
Yeah,
if
I
I
need
you can only do it from the app.
I need to
Can't do
get
it
all
from.
his stuff.
Yeah.
hold on,
So only through the app, and then just get all those PDFs. Rob Smith was the CPA. He used to be a partner for a large firm. He has left the firm, and all he's doing is Microsoft OneNote.
Yeah,
oh my God, he was amazing.
OneNoteForAll.com.
OneNoteForAll.com. He talk about drinking the Kool-Aid, and I when I watch webinars, I speed them up.
Oh, okay.
And he talked so fast, it was like, oh, he's the perfect speed for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have to speed him up.
I didn't have to speed him up. But other people were like, slow down.
Okay.
But
You want me to go Control F1?
Control-1
Control-1.
for the product
I think
page.
wasn't it Control-1?
Yeah, for the product page.
Okay. Well, actually, that's showing me the screen. So what do I look for now?
Somewhere where it says allotted.
I have QuickBooks open on my laptop. Yeah, I'm looking for my mouse.
Allotted RAM.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Or something along those lines. Sarah's pulling hers up.
It's in another window.
I closed it.
It'll open up.
Oh, would it be called cache? C-A-C-H-E?
Yeah, I think that's it.
That might be it.
It says local server information. Hosting is off. The initial cache was 512.
Right.
And then the cache is 1024. 1024. So that's not much, is it?
No.
512 megabytes. I thought he said he needed.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that again. Make sure we're looking at the right spot.
Well, I
thought
installed 18
Well,
this
how much-
afternoon.
How much RAM do you have? Oh, you
Enterprise.
installed it?
I
Did
installed-
you shut everything off?
I was chatting with Ernest on another in Skype. That's why I just said, and it got so slow. I finally took it off the network and came in here to work on my laptop because it was.
Give me the hammer to hit myself in the head.
I'm sorry. I'm married to an IT guy. Do you think I could install software right?
Well,
All right, here.
just do control one. You don't even have to.
Oh,
log
I
in.
don't even have to log in, so I go to control one. Oh, look at that. Okay.
All right. Free memory. So, do you have a free? So, you see free memory as you do control one
On the right.
down the right hand side.
Ah, yes. Yes. Thank you.
What is it? What does it say?
It says 4194303. So that's
Same as mine.
Right.
4,194,000.
That's 4 gigs. So that's the most you're going to get.
That wouldn't be enough to run 2018, would it?
Yeah, that's the most you'll get. Is
The most you can get.
4 for the program, and then 4 for the database server.
Oh, you can't get more than that even if you have more installed.
No, it's a 32-bit program, so it can only do 4
You know what?
4 gigs, even though the computer is 64-bit,
Well, why are they
and
making?
the operating system.
Why? Got it. Why are they making QuickBooks Desktop 32-bit? Why haven't they made it 60?
I would say a lot of typical productivity applications are 32-bit. They make Office, most of the Office installs I've ever seen are 32-bit, even though they make 64-bit. The problem is interoperability with other applications.
Got it.
So
Okay.
I don't know whether, gosh, is QuickBooks ever going to come out with a 64-bit version? I find it unlikely.
Probably not.
I don't know when we'll force, when things will happen where we'll force that kind of move to, 64-bit applications, because that happened, obviously we used to use 16-bit applications when we were using Windows 3.1.1 and that, and then we went to 95 and 98, which were 32-bit and operating systems, and now finally our applications have caught up. But since Windows 7 was kind of the first one where a majority of a lot of the installs were 64-bit. I mean, you got to the point where you could do this, the hardware would support it, and you could do a 64-bit installation.
A computer that ran an operating system that was 64-bit, you had to change your printer, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I did.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying.
What are you thinking about?
There were certain printers that
My dot matrix printers wouldn't work.
with Windows 7. So with Windows 7, I think it was with Windows 7, they went to it. They kind of said, okay, look, we've been building in this, backwards compatibility with these printers and stuff. That's it.
You're done.
So
You either get on.
we're not doing that. So that's where some of the hardware changes. They said, okay, now it's time for you to change your hardware. We've let people slide long enough. You got to change it.
Yeah.
So that's where it's great to be backward compatible, but it limits what you can do going
Right.
forward.
It's the same thing with
And-
sunsetting a
and
QuickBooks.
creates,
You can't support it.
it can create additional vulnerabilities and problems with how the operating system works and all that. So
2020, I think they're saying there's a lot of software that won't work unless it's on Windows 10. You know, it needs the
I wouldn't
security.
want-
and-
well, that's
and
because Windows 7 sunsets in 2020. That's why
Right.
you're
That's
Okay.
why I have that in my head.
yes.
'Cause
Okay,
I have-
we're gonna
You know,
end on Sarah finally installed her computers. Yay!
so
I'm
now,
glad you did that. I'm glad you installed them. Thanks a lot for doing that.
Marcus. So now we have laptops.
Took me long.
Yeah.
I bought them at Thanksgiving. So now we have our regular 2 monitors and then the laptop next to it. So now we have 3 monitors. And if a storm pops up, all we
Which is
do
a
is,
productivity problem. But
yeah,
that's
I know. None of us are using it anyway. It's too much multitasking. But
That's another scaling.
yeah, they said stop the dual monitors unless you're cutting and
Unless you're
pasting.
doing
Unless you're
comparisons
comparison
and
and
cutting
cutting
and
and
pasting.
pasting. Get rid of the other. They do one thing at a time.
There's no multitasking.
No multitasking.
No such thing.
No such thing. But what's nice is these little storms that keep popping up. These little lightning boomers that show up about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I just unplugged the dock.
Yeah.
And the computer
It's
keeps
set up-
going. We can still keep
It's
working.
set up on a dock so that
Yeah.
through a USB-C connection, so you just connect the
Cool.
USB, and it gives you access to your regular keyboard, mouse, and the monitors, and all the
Great.
your creative printers and other garbage.
So instead of that big box under my desk, I've got the laptop. Now, we took all the boxes, the Dells, and lined them up under the conference room table so we can still RDP into our old machine, because you know how you transition to a new machine and then you go,
Oh, I need that. I haven't used that.
I don't need, or wait a minute, this is configured differently, or wait, that's been on my desktop forever. Where is it? You know, so that'll be nice because we can. That'll help with the transition. So we have new Adobe DC, I guess.
Okay.
I've been on the newest Office, but my employees, so they're on the new, Outlook and Excel and all that. 2016.
Yeah, 360.
And then we turned on Teams. We're going to start using Teams, which is like Slack. And then we're going to, the OneNote, I'm having so much fun with OneNote, I can't even tell you. So that'll be a whole nother,
Yeah, we'll probably need to
We'll
do
have to talk
we'll
about
do a
that.
session on OneNote.
A
And
whole session.
What
on
you
Monday.
Actually, Teams would be a good way.
Teams would be a good way to do it too. We could also, and I also want to see if we can get the Neat guys back on a demo with us.
Yes.
They have added features.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah. Anyway, there were a lot of new features with a lot of the apps. This scaling. So
There's.
Nice. Nice.
I'll see if I can find her picture. Did you see the picture, Sarah, of the lady whose hair was all different colors?
Oh my.
the blue hair.
It was all different colors. It was a
Rainbow.
rainbow.
Oh, like a rainbow, real long. It was sort of long.
No, I don't think
I
so.
don't
There
remember.
were a lot of people with crazy hair. So
I don't
I
remember
don't know.
seeing.
Anyway, who is she?
I'm trying to find, there it is. Hold on. Trying to see if I could find it. Oh, here she is. Hold on. Let's see.
And we're gonna. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh, what's her name?
Let me try
No.
this another one. I got one with her picture, with her face. There's another one.
Oh, what is her name? I know.
But anyway, she let me take a couple pictures, but it's really beautiful. And when she
Nice.
puts it back,
Yeah.
it's all through there. It's really amazing. It's
I
paint.
bet that took a long time to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think she
You know,
We're gonna end on that note. Beautiful hair.
beautiful hair.
there it's scaling new heights.
And we'll see you all same time, same place next week.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay.